So, uranium, nuclear fuel, power plants. Let's just get through this together.
Okay, so why is it so important to do this today?
So, basically, everything starts in the ground. Like, deep in the ground. Uranium is just a metal, a radioactive one, and it's just sitting there in rocks, minding its own business. People dig it up from mines, mostly in places like Kazakhstan, Canada, and Australia. It looks nothing like what you'd imagine. It's just gray, crushed rock. Super boring. Not glowing green, not dangerous to touch at that point. Disappointing, honestly. So they dig up all this rock and they crush it, like a lot of crushing. And then they mix it with chemicals to pull the uranium out of all the other useless rock stuff. What you get at the end looks like a dry powder. It's yellow. They actually call it Yellowcake, which sounds delicious, but is very much not a food. Please don't eat it. It's radioactive. But like, mildly. At this stage, it's less radioactive than your smoke detector. Just don't eat it. Okay, so now we have Yellowcake. Cool. But we can't just shove Yellowcake into a reactor and call it a day. We need to do more stuff to it first. The next step is called conversion. Basically, you take the Yellowcake and turn it into a gas. Yes, a gas. They mix it with fluorine, and it becomes this thing called uranium hexafluoride. UF6 if you want the fancy name. It's a gas at high temperatures. This is important for the next step, which is the annoying one. Enrichment. Okay, so here's the thing. Natural uranium is mostly made of two types. You've got U-238, which is like the boring cousin, and U-235, which is the one that actually does the nuclear reaction thing. But in natural uranium, only about 0.7% of it is U-235. That's almost nothing. You need around 3 to 5% for a power plant reactor to actually work. So what do? You enrich it. Basically, you spin the uranium gas really, really fast in giant machines called centrifuges. The heavier U-238 gets pushed to the outside, and the lighter U-235 stays more toward the middle. You keep doing this over and over until you've separated enough of the good stuff. It takes a lot of centrifuges, and a lot of electricity, and a lot of time. It's basically the most tedious chemistry project ever, but like at an industrial scale. Okay, so now we have enriched uranium. Still a gas though, so they convert it back into a solid, a powder called uranium dioxide, UO2. And then, this is actually kind of cool, they press this powder into small pellets, like little ceramic cylinders. Each one is about the size of your fingertip. And here's the wild part. One of those tiny little pellets contains as much energy as 17,000 cubic feet of natural gas from something the size of your fingernail. That's insane. Okay, I'll admit, that part is actually pretty cool. So they stack these pellets, like hundreds of them, into long metal tubes called fuel rods. The tubes are made of a special metal called zirconium alloy, which doesn't react with the uranium and can handle insane heat. Then they bundle a bunch of fuel rods together into what's called a fuel assembly, and that is what goes into the nuclear reactor. Inside the reactor, the uranium atoms split. That's called fission. And when they split, they release a ton of heat. That heat boils water. The steam spins a turbine. The turbine generates electricity. And that electricity goes to your house, so you can charge your phone and watch videos at 2 a.m. instead of studying. Which is honestly poetic, given why we're all here right now. So, to recap real quick. Mine the rock, crush it, get Yellowcake, convert to gas, enrich it in centrifuges, convert back to solid pellets, stack into fuel rods, put in reactor, boom, electricity. That's it. That's uranium becoming nuclear fuel. You're welcome. I'm going to sleep.